Welcome everyone to another Painting Basics video. Today we are going to speak about priming. The process will be done in 3 different ways. I'm going to use Chaos Black Spray, White Scar Spray, wine corks, double-sided tape, liquid X titanium white ink, a Lahey black primer, Style Res black primer, a green stuff world airbrush with a 0.2 nozzle, an old brush,
Julian!
Scissors also might be handy, and of course some gloves to put on your hands. This is something that my dad helped me to do. It is a spray prime stance. It is made out of 3 cheap pieces of wood screwed together. You can see the places where I put double-sided tape and then stuck the minis on and spray painted them. On this side I also put double-sided tape, stick the minis on and spray paint them. You can see lots of layers of paint from previous job. It is a very handy tool because it allows me to not touch the minis while and after spray painting. It is also very stable, a really nice alternative to the Citadel Color spray stick. It does the job perfectly and costs almost nothing. The other thing I really often use, especially for airbrush painting, is a wine cork with double-sided tape. If the cork is flat on both sides, it is easy to stick the mini on and hold it not directly in your hands. You can use a big cork instead of a wine cork. The only difference is that you will need more tape, but the adhesion will be even better. The problem with a cork might come when it is not flat on the bottom and there is not much space to stick the tape onto the mini. Right, so the first type of priming I want to show is spray paint priming. This will make the video long, but I want everyone to see the whole process till the end. It is important to note that the paint has to be sprayed in layers, with a top to down or down to top movement from a good distance. Look for tips on the spray can. I am doing a down to top movement till the whole mini is covered with paint. This is the second model. The process more or less stays the same. Now this is a very important example. The last model is sprayed without any arm movement, directly from the front, just for you to see how it can look like and why the arm movements are important to get a thin, smooth layer.
Are you crazy? Or just plain stupid?
Stupid as stupid does, Mrs. Blue.
I guess.
I forgot to click record when making the zenithal. Sorry for that. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel, it will really help the channel to grow. The process more or less with zenithal priming is the same as with normal priming. The difference is that you do it until you are more or less satisfied with the zenithal. So, here we have the minis. Let's compare them starting from the left. The model was not in the best condition, I have to be honest. Probably this influenced the mini itself. I have definitely overdone the zenithal. Like always, I want to include all the mistakes I have done to talk about them. The white paint entirely covered the black paint. A spray can zenithal almost always leaves white spot and it is not covering clearly. In the middle we have a definite winner here. The miniature was new, the black paint covered perfectly. It has a nice satin finish. An important thing to remember is that When there is dry weather, the paint will dry while spraying, and this can give an uneven result. On the right hand, we have a very bad example of priming. To be honest, the mini was stripped a few times, the paint got distributed unevenly, there are places where the paint accumulated, giving a visible layer that will affect the painting process along the way. Airbrush painting then. I use Stynel res straight from the pot, well shaken of course, 35 psi. I just add a little flow improver, small shots on many spots, and then going back and spraying again where needed. Now, I will add a heavy white zenithal that leaves only the deepest shadows black. For this I use Liquitex Titanium White ink because it gives a smooth layer, just a little flow improver to it. Now have a look at both of them. they both looked good. An airbrush used correctly always gives a great result. I have nothing more to add here. If you can afford an airbrush, do it. It's always a win. The last option for priming is doing it with a brush. All you need is some water, a primer and an old brush. A black paint can, but not always will be a good substitute for primer paint. The paint was watered too much and I had to wait a few hours for the paint to dry, and this is the effect. This time I will use a thicker layer straight from the bottle. If you want to make a zenith tool with a brush, you have a few options: dry brushing, slap chopping, or just layering a brighter paint with a precise brush. I'm not a specialist with dry brushing, and this was the effect. And there we have it. To be honest, I had no expectations for this method, but it turned out quite okay. Not perfect by any standard. There are visible paint layers. Diluting the paint and putting more layers would probably solve this issue. The dry brushed Xanadu looks bad, but this is me, not the method. It can be done good. Would I recommend it? If you can do and have time and patience for the smooth layers, then it is an option. To summarize, priming by brush is the cheapest option. It is easy to do and is possible in any weather conditions. The disadvantages are a long drying time, the paint is diluted, and the lack of quality and precision if it is done incorrectly. The airbrush is my go-to option. It is very precise and easy to do, quick, smooth, and reliable. The disadvantages are that the airbrush set is quite expensive and loud. Spray painting is the perfect middle ground between the previous two. It is easy, quite quick, smooth, and cheaper than getting an airbrush. The disadvantages are the smell of the spray paint. It sometimes is very specific and chemical. It is not precise and therefore preferably done as a primary layer. Unfortunately, you always need a space outside to do it because it can be messy and smelly. I will leave the decision to you which one is the best. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. See you in the next video.